Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to do a quick video on some patterns that I think that dressmakers who are starting out should have a go at. Ones that I think are quite simple and not too complicated to get your head around. When you're starting out with dressmaking, if you are a beginner, it can seem quite daunting, and I totally understand that because I have been sewing for years, since I was really little, and I did a bit of dressmaking when I was a teenager, and then I sort of went away and I did gifts and soft furnishings like I do with my business, and I've only recently properly got back into it, and some patterns still now I just sit there going like, oh, I don't understand this. But once you've done a few things and you understand the terminology a bit more, I promise you it does get a lot easier. But I just thought I'd share some ideas of patterns that I think that if you're starting out you should definitely just have a go at. And remember, when you are starting, it doesn't matter if you do it wrong or right. I would always say, if you want to buy something or some fabric and you have an idea, buy some cheap fabric first. Have a go at the pattern on your cheap fabric and then try it on, see what the fit's like, and if you like it, then you've now done it once, so the second time round on the nice fabric you'll know exactly what you're doing and it'll be so much simpler. So I just thought we'd go through some ideas that I have of things that you should try, and yeah, and maybe you can tell me if you agree. Okay, so the first thing I think is pyjamas. Now, this is just a really simple simplicity pattern. It's Simplicity 1563A for guys and gals 2 hour. Now, it's one of those patterns that has everything. You have tops for girls and boys, shorts, trousers and dressing gowns. So it's basically for males and females, and I think that it's for children as well. Maybe not, maybe it is just for adults. But there's quite a large range of sizes, so you can easily tailor it for smaller people. But I think especially PJ bottoms, if you're just starting out and you want to know how to make simple trousers, just to get your head around the way crotch seams work and inner leg seams. Once you've done something really simple and not fitted, you might find trousers next time around with pockets or something a lot easier. So I definitely recommend trying some sort of pyjamas, even if they're not fitted, just baggy pyjamas, elasticated waist, bit of a drawstring, and then once you've done that, all other items will seem much easier. Okay, the next pattern is a Tilly Patterns pattern, my fave, the Coco. Now, the Coco was the first ever dressmaking pattern that I got back into making clothes with. I didn't know what to do, and I remember when I was teaching in Tilly's studio, and I was looking through the patterns and I was thinking, I want to make something, I just want to get back into it, but I just want something that I can just slowly dip a toe in and see how I get on. And Tilly said, just do the Coco, I promise you, it's not overcomplicated, and once you've done it, you'll love it. And she was 100% right. I made the Coco dress. You may have remembered it from a long time ago if you have been reading my blog for a while. I made it in a dark grey and a green stretch jersey, and it was so comfy to wear. I was so happy with it, and I have made a few since. Now, the reason why I like this is not many pieces, it's not totally fitted, and it still looks really flattering. So when you're doing it, there is a few, I must admit, sewing stretch fabrics can be a bit like, ugh, but this pattern makes it a lot simpler. You're not doing anything overcomplicated, you're not doing anything that can super stretch out seams, and because Tilly's patterns are written for beginners, she does explain how to do each step really clearly and tips to watch out for. So as you're going through it, it's very well explained. There's nothing that you just sort of go, well, I don't know what I'm doing next, because there's a gap, which is what a lot of patterns have sometimes. If you don't know the terminology and you don't know how to just finish that bit off, then it just skips it and goes to the next thing. But Tilly's patterns don't do that, and I think the Coco is a great one to start out, especially if you want to just have a go at sewing stretch fabrics. So even if you have been dressmaking for a while and you've always made things out of cottons and linens and just really structured things, pleated skirts, things like that, and you think, oh, I really want to sew stretch things but I'm really scared of using stretch fabrics, this is the pattern for you. Okay, the next pattern is one that you may have seen in my July fabric stash and patterns video, this Burda pattern. It's the super easy Burda Style 6508, and it's just these like a jersey dress with an overlay t-shirt or top over the top, and this is the pattern I used to make a dress for my sister because she was going to a wedding, and it turned out really, really well, and the pattern is so simple. Again, like the Coco, it uses jersey fabrics, and it does say on the pattern jersey only. So if you are new to stretch fabrics and you want to have a go at them, this pattern is very, very simple, like the Coco, just a simple front and back. And this one doesn't even have sleeves, so it's just either this t-shirt version has like a back wing sleeve, so you just cut out one piece, that's it. So it's just the dress 2 pieces and then the overlay t-shirt 2 pieces. So really, really simple and quite easy to follow, considering it's a big name pattern. I prefer indie patterns in terms of instructions, but this one, I mean, there are bits where you think, oh, do I need to finish that seam or overlock or whatever? But if you just read it through really clearly, then everything makes sense. And remember, if you're using jerseys, they don't fray, so you don't actually need to finish the edges of raw edges. You don't need to finish the raw edges because jersey doesn't fray. So easy peasy. Okay, the next one is another Tilly Buttons pattern, but this time for something a bit more stylish or something different. And it's the Cleo dungaree dress. So this one I just love. I just absolutely love it. And when I'm teaching dressmaking and they're just starting out, this is one of the patterns that I recommend them to get for their lesson, because it's something that you can easily make. It's not too complicated. You learn a lot of skills in one item, which is, I think, really, really useful, but you're not overwhelmed by it all. So I mean, I normally get students to make the version with the buckles because it's just an extra component, and just hammer jeans buttons rather than complicating them with making buttonholes and sewing on buttons as well. But yeah, and I would recommend this pattern because, again, not many pieces, very clear instructions, and it's a nice item to have as a finished project, especially if it's your first go, because it's such like a big thing. I don't know, like making a t-shirt, sometimes people go like, oh, I've just made a t-shirt. But this, you make like an outfit basically, and it's something really, really cool to wear as well. So definitely recommend this one if you're starting out. And the last one is a staple t-shirt. It's the Nielsen Briar tee. Just a nice t-shirt pattern to have in your stash anyway. Very simple instructions, not too many pieces. The diagrams and in the instructions are very, very clear, and you know, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you like. You don't even have to add pockets if you don't want to. You can do just a cropped tee if you don't have that much fabric. You don't have to add long sleeves if you don't want to. I just think it's great for starting out, making your own tops, and then once you've made one, you can make all the different variations and then have a go at creating your own variation. So I definitely recommend this one as well, just to have in your stash. So yeah, I need to make another one of these actually, because I really do like my Briar tees. So yeah, so those are my sort of top 5 recommendations of beginners patterns. If there's any that you think that people should look at, then please comment below. This is just the ones that I happen to have in my stash. I mean, in the world there are millions of patterns that you could choose from. My advice is, if you're just starting out, try, if it's your first ever thing to make, try making something in a non-stretch cotton, in a cheap cotton that is. Just get a pattern, maybe just some pajama bottoms or shorts, and just have a go at just one thing, and then once you've done that, you'll feel far more confident in making other things. Any recommendations, comment below. If there's any other tips and advice that you want to give to beginners dressmakers, I know a lot of you are very, very good sewers, please comment below, because it's nice to be able to share these tips and tricks. And yes, and if you are a beginner, then good luck with your first patterns, and don't be afraid, just dive in, have a go, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. There's always next time. So I will see you again next week. Happy handmade, everyone.